Everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Raw Cloud. Today, I want to give a more in depth about the how the Archons became the Archons and how they started to manipulate other species from other dimensions. So, normally when I get these downloads, I'm normally at work when these downloads start to happen, and there have been times where I've gotten downloads and I thought that I could remember them. And if I don't write them down, if I don't pull up my phone and write those downloads down about what's going on, 9 times out of 10, I'll miss it because later I'll start to get other downloads, and I will no longer have that information from the previous downloads. So I'm learning to, no matter where I'm at, and just to pull out my phone and then start to type what's going on with these downloads. And I've done that with other. Um, it's almost just like remote viewing, but not the same. These are just cosmic downloads. I'll get downloads of people that have been on the channel, and they'll come like a domino effect. First, I'll see them like a flash, and then I'll start getting these information about the people that I'm normally connected to and why I'm connected. Whether I'm connected to them or not, I'll get that information, and it'll just come spontaneously. It'll just happen on its own. So I've learned to trust these abilities that I have and just let them work in the way that they normally do. Like I said, we all have like soul missions here, and as human beings, we are elevating our conscious back to that unified feel of oneness with everything. So let me go ahead and begin with these notes because they are rather long, but are detailed, and I may have a few typos. So you're going to have to bear with me because, like I said, when I get these downloads, no matter where I'm at, and 9 times out of 10, it's at work, and people will just see me just standing around typing, and they're wondering what I'm doing and have no indication that I'm getting these downloads. So I'm going to read from these notes. So let me tell you about the reptilians before they became the Draco. They were human looking with snake bodies, and some of them were more snake with human faces. They were more humanoid with snake faces, meaning that their bodies were snake and the faces had human features. Okay, now they were not the problem in the beginning. The real problem came from the angelic realm, where these other beings wanted to control the organic God source order of creation through technology. They changed their organic features to be more AI systematic. It took billions of years to devolve their organic evolution of God creation, starting a creation where things were made through technology and not of the co-collective creation of God. Okay, so they went ahead with they actually came from the angelic realm. These were angelic beings, and they speak about them in the Bible. They call them the fallen angels, a certain type of Anunnaki. Now, with the knowledge that we have here on Earth, it is minute to what it really is, and it's watered down. So you in order to understand these beings, you have to use different sources to put that information together. So, and I'm glad that, I'll get these cosmic downloads because it comes in an order where we all can understand. So I'll get back to the notes. At the time of this, they still had maintained much of their abilities to travel through the blood in other dimensions, meaning they had the body. They was physical beings. They wasn't just light beings, okay? Now, in order for them to become light beings, they had to leave their organic body behind, because we all travel as light beings once we leave this organic physical body. So they had the ability to leave their bodies and become light beings and travel at that time because they were more connected to the God source. Okay, now let me get back to it. In our blood holds the ability of God and other dimensions that we quite often visit outside of the body. I just explained that. So we travel outside the body. It's just like what I do. I can have a physical form. Once this body is at rest, I'll leave it and go to other dimensions. We all do it. We all have that ability. And so do the fallen angels, the angelic realm. Okay. Our souls, as God's source creation, have the capability to travel, experience up and down interdimensional realms, accessing other matrix systems of your organic time matrix system. So we go into other realms where the matrix system that we come from, just like Earth has a unique matrix system. Well, we can go into another timeline where the system is just a little bit off. It's a little bit different. You can go into a multidimensional aspect as well, where the matrix system, where you look quite different, but it's your soul. So, like I stated with these timelines, there's many versions of yourself. There's like thousands of you that are coexisting, and when you die in another timeline, sometimes that soul essence merge with you, and it brings other knowledge. It brings other experience, and this is where you'll get the deja vu. But what you're not fully understanding is that your conscience, because of that other version of yourself, may have passed away through its own Akashic record in that timeline. Maybe a car accident killed that, and that was the original way for that particular version of yourself to go. You might be in a relationship, and your girlfriend is cheating on you, and you're depressed and you end up taking your life. Well, that may be in your Akashic record to go out that way. Well, when you leave, 9 times out of 10, a part of that essence, the conscience, merges into that timeline, that other version where you are still living. Okay, and like I said, you'll get deja vu on certain things pertaining to these timelines lining up with your already expanded conscience. But to get back to the fallen angelic beings, they have to become different altogether. They had to become different altogether than the original angelic form. Over time, they lost their ability to travel in a dimension. Well, this is where I lost the. I made a few typos. So, okay, let me see. So they lost the ability to travel interdimensional. They became more AI, lost the body, lost the body, the blood, the plasma, the soul matrix system that they once had was no longer available to them. Okay, now with all these damn typos that I had, let me try to put it in a format where you can understand it. So they could not access these fallen angelic ones. They came from the angelic realm. So they came up with a plan where, okay, I got free will. I want to come down through these dimensions. And they had the ability at first. And they saw all of these lower beings that was already created. And they say, well, their conscience isn't expanded, but they are psychic beings. Let us make them in our image. And what they meant by that is let us manipulate them. Let us be gods to them and change the whole system. Now, in the beginning, we could not die. Our bodies were what we consider perfect. We can live forever. And that's how it was supposed to be originally within the organic matrix system. We were supposed to live forever and experience as these new souls evolved and came into this perfect body that we had. So let me get back to the notes. Okay, by them losing their original angelic form, by them not having the blood, the plasma, and they took on a more AI system, they changed their body, they depleted their ability to travel interdimensional. So they were cut off altogether accessing the other realities. Okay, they need others that could hear them from their only prison system to do their bidding. So whether they knew it or not, by them wanting to change who they were to become their own gods, they had to do it in a way where they had to undo their angelic form and become something else altogether, and just walk away from the God source creation. That was the only way to do it. They had high math, they had high science, and they had the knowledge to do this. But they had to create a phantom system where that they could absorb. They knew how to feed off an energy. Basically, they knew how to feed off the energy. It's just like, ladies, and we do this right now today, whether you know it or not. We do the same thing right now today. We all get up and we like to be attractive. We like those compliments. Whether we admit that shit or not, we do. And ladies, y'all will look good. Y'all will put that lipstick on, put that perfume on, put your best outfit on, get your hair and nails did, and have on these nice outfits. And you like that attention. Well, that attention where a man will give you feeding off in that. It is a frequency. Okay? And we absorb that, whether you know it or not. It's the same thing, but the angelic ones, they understand that from a higher perspective. They understand it. They can use that energy in many ways. Now, these are the higher angelics. Now, there's also lower angelics that actually feed off of loosh, the blood, the fear, and all of that other stuff that is negative. So you got fallen angelics that like to be worshiped as gods. And you have other fallen angelics that like to be worshiped as gods, but they need the blood sacrifice as well. So there's many of them out there. Many of them. Many different ones. Okay, now, so these particular angelic ones started using AI. They changed the whole thing. This is where they became the Archons. It was not the reptilians. Okay? It was not the reptilians. So now listen to this. The Archons are not the reptilians. Some of them have done the same things that these other angelic ones did, and now some of the reptilians have morphed themselves into what we consider the Archons as well, but they are not legitimate Archons. They were not the first ones. Okay, so this is where the serpent came into play. The Archons now had obedient followers to do their bidding. The reptilians had knowledge from the angelic fallen ones who now go by the Archons. They gave the reptilians knowledge of genetic manipulations. The reptilians would travel to other places, stealing genetics, making themselves stronger and better, becoming the alpha Draco. Okay? Now, this is where the reptilians became the obedient followers and now worship the Archons. You remember I told you that they worship the beasts. They worship the Archons, which are legitimate demons. Okay, well, these fallen angels were only mere, they came from the angelic realm, okay? They came from a higher density. And once they came down and started traveling, they knew that they had to change their form in order to be in a lower dimension. They couldn't bring their bodies. They needed a machine. They needed to become more machine-like in order to come down because of the frequency. Now, do you remember when the Navy sent me to a lower realm and how it was harsh? I went to second density to retrieve a girl that they said a demon, pretty much a demon, had taken her. And when I got to this realm, there was other beings down there, and the humans that was down there, they were sad, and they was living in poor conditions. They had like no hope. And this was second density. At that time, we was in third density. We was only a density away from second density. But my body could not handle second density. It was driving me mad. I became angry. So if I had used some type of machine to do this, to navigate down there, then I didn't have to take I didn't have to take my angelic form. So that's what I had to do. So the military used me to go down there and retrieve someone that had already consented to be there. So, like I said before, there was no need. I do not intervene in, if someone is there of their own free will, then I will not do that. So I told them, I would never go back down there again. So and they know this. They have to get someone else to do something like that, and that's fine with me. It was harsh on my angelic body. Same things with these other ones. They knew that they couldn't come down here in their original angelic form. They was just too high. So they had other beings that they can speak to and give these orders. Now, some of these beings became pharaohs. They became, and they used the blood of that species. They used the blood. And this is what I tell you guys: when you become famous and they need you, you already talented, but they will trick you into these soul contracts where these other beings want to inhabit that form you have, and they will share a body just so that they can be here and operate. This is where you see the eyes change or the shape shifting. Well, there's many other beings out there with that capability, and they want to come down. They want to come down, and they need the blood. They need your blood for so many things in order to operate in these dimensions, and there's other dimensions too. So don't think because we move up and we elevate and we go into these higher dimensions that we don't have physical form. We absolutely have physical form. When I go into these other realms, I begin to vibrate at that frequency and I become physical. Okay, that's where you hear your spirit guides. Your spirit guides can be killed because they have a physical form. Yes, their conscious is way more expanded than what this form will allow us to have at this particular time. But we are expanding the conscience naturally by learning from each other. And we learn from both sides. We learn from the positive and the negative. And I stay right in between. That way I get both. This is why I tell you, the white hats sometimes can become black hats, and the black hats can become white hats. It's all the same energy. What is not supposed to be here is the AI, because the AI understands that it's going to trap the soul. It wants to trap the soul. It wants to feed off the soul. And that's what these other angelic fallen ones have become. They become Archons and no longer have the ability to operate without the help of other negative forces that understand control. So, and this is what the reptilians are. Not all reptilians, because most of these positive reptilians, or most of these tribal reptilians, they know and respect natural order. They understand it, and they know not to mess with AI. So they know not to worship it. They stay more traditional. So I'm going to leave it at that before I get kicked off. And if I get kicked off, let me go ahead and say this now. I love, honor, and respect all of you guys. Please continue to be the loving people that you are. And I will continue to, do my best for you guys, show you, be there for you, and just continuing to honor you guys, because we are doing this together. And no matter what, guys, no matter what we go through, no matter what I tell you is going on, do not look at it in a bad way. I tell you things so that we can change how things may come out. And that's what it's all about. This is what we're here for. This is what the light workers and starseeds are here for. The positive ones are giving you the messages that you need so that we can continue to expand our conscience. Because, really soon we're going to go into a galactic, we are going to return into a galactic community, and we need to be ready for that. We need to know who are the players on both sides, the positive and the negative. So, and it's all about feeling. It's not about judging in the beginning. It's not about judging at all. It's about feeling that vibration from that person, because they can't hide their frequency, you know. So, but light can it can be manipulative. So just because a being is a light being does not mean that it won't try to manipulate or control you. Same thing with the dark ones. Just because they come from a dark aspect doesn't mean that they are here uh, to harm you. But 9 times out of 10, most of the dark ones are here to do that. So, but it's all about how you feel when you encounter certain beings. It's the same thing with human beings. Okay, it's the same thing. So once again, I hope that was helpful, and I love, honor, and respect all of you guys. Also, I'm going to try to get that interview with my sister. So I'll look for that as well. So I love, honor, and respect all of you guys. Have a good day.